how quickly the opinion changes. If it wasn't for Vince McMahon, Cody wouldn't be there. But you can't mention him.
It was Vince
and Bruce was the other one.
Yeah, thank you, Dutch, because it was Vince and Bruce who went to Cody's house. The story that he talked about.
Yeah, Vince is the guy that was, but is no more. But now all of a sudden, persona non grata, is that the word? You can't mention his name.
What is going on, everybody? We have made it. It is Monday, April 8th. WrestleMania weekend is in the books. We can all relax. We can all take in the moment that the era of relevancy is over and the era of don't call it the Triple H Paul Levesque era is now underway. Cody Rhodes is the WWE champion. Damian Priest is the world heavyweight champion after, in my humble opinion, one of the best booked Money in the Bank cash-ins of all time. Bayley is the new WWE Women's Champion. Rhea Ripley is still on top of the women's division. We got a lot to talk about. Dutch, the people are waiting. They want to know, what did you think of WrestleMania weekend now that everything is in the books here on the whole of what we saw this weekend and what went down and what it all means?
Well, I'm not going to be negative here because it was one of the best booked shows I've seen in a long time. Not over the top, simple stuff, pleasing stuff. People could come to the show, enjoy it for what it was. The right guy went over at the end there with Cody, because can you imagine if they'd have worked some kind of effed up screw job? They would have tore that stadium down. They would have said, screw it. And it was a good pay-per-view. I do have a few complaints, like Taker showing up in biker gear instead of showing up in his Undertaker outfit. And I went, what the hell? But anyway, it was, it's almost the way we predicted it. I don't know where Austin was. I guess he said, hey, I got a fishing trip I got to go on. I don't blame him. But
it was like, oh, WrestleMania in Texas. Oh, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But very, very good pay-per-view.
SP3, this is something we had talked about, ad nauseum for the longest time is Roman's reign, when it was going to end, who the right guy was going to be the guy to beat Roman Reigns. We always talked about it was a guy, it had to be at this point with Reigns' run as historic and significant as it was, they had an opportunity to make somebody. And they put Cody Rhodes wasn't the guy last year. He was the guy this year. In the last year, he earned it. The fans were behind him. We wanted the most overbooked bullshit imaginable for this. How you feeling after watching everything go down and seeing all the legends come back? And honestly, like outside of Taker, everything really kind of did make perfect sense for how they booked everything.
And even Taker made sense when you really think about it, because Taker has a connection with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And this whole interference wasn't really about the people from the bloodlines past. It after the Jay and Jimmy portion of the interferences, it was really a celebration of 40 years of WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes said it when he was lying on the mat. He said basically it was like a little replay of 40 years of WrestleMania went on before I had my moment and I got up from that mat. So that's what happened there. And I'm usually the biggest critic here when it comes to our SmackDown reviews, because I can nitpick to death, and I want everything to be perfect, and I hold Triple H to a different standard than I held Vince McMahon, because I know Triple H knows how to book this and seems to have his finger on the pulse of what the fans want, and this weekend was evidence of that. And the fact that you had 18 months of changes before they started saying all this weekend it's a new era, it basically, it's not the boy who cried wolf anymore. I have to start believing you at this point, because I've heard WWE, I've been alive for over 30 years, and the past 5-10 years, I've heard WWE tell me it's a new era. It was a new era when Shane McMahon came back and him and Stephanie was going to be the general managers of Raw and SmackDown. It was a new era when they were going to listen to the fans, when Baron Corbin was the general manager. So they needed to literally prove
brother,
for over a year that it was going to change before they said this time.
Testify.
It's a new era. And we actually believe you. And this weekend was proof of it, because I feel this was a top 5 WrestleMania with the greatest WrestleMania ending of all time.
Yeah, Dutch, for those of you who can't tell, I'm on the road right now. I'm in an Airbnb in South Philadelphia as we speak, trying not to talk too loudly because I got a lot of neighbors. But, the going to all the events, listening to everybody talk in the post-media scrums, listening to Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame speech. Like, this is a guy who went out of his way to put over Triple H and put over Stephanie McMahon in his Hall of Fame speech, and kind of really put him on the pedestal and shine that spotlight of Triple H is the guy, we believe in him. And then everybody who talked afterwards says, you can feel it. It's a new era, kind of like what Sid said. And Triple H gets on there and say, hey, look, it's not my era, it's our era. But, just the fact, Dutch, that everybody, at least publicly, and I'm a pretty good judge of bullshit. Like, I can smell when people are lying to me. I did not get that sense when hearing anybody talk this weekend. It really does seem like everybody's bought into what Triple H is doing and what he has planned for the company's future.
Yeah, but look what he's done so far. He's brought the ratings up. The houses are great. They brought The Rock in. That would help anybody. But it's not that it was not that's going to help. That was the reason Triple H has been successful. He's a good guy. People can talk to him. When I was there before, when I came in off the street in Nashville, they gave me a job in like 40 minutes after they heard me do an interview. But he was the guy I talked to. So, and when I had a problem there, even before I would go to Triple H. Now, most of the time he couldn't do anything about it. But he said he'd look into it, and he did. But he's done a great job, and you want that dressing room motivated. You want them to go out there every night. This is the last match they're ever going to have, even on the live events, and that matters. That's contagious because it gets everybody off their butts, and when the fans pay for a ticket, they're paying to see, I would say, the greatest athletes in the world at this point, because these guys are damn good. Going off, they were some things that I was really surprised in, but in a good way, was the Sami Zayn over Gunther. And they were repaying Sami Zayn for all the good work he's done for the last 3 years. Now, it probably won't last long, but that's okay. And it don't hurt Gunther at all. And I have an old saying, the fans will come to see the good guy win. They won't come to see him lose. And that's why they did 70-some-odd thousand people, because this was Cody's time. We predicted it last week. Everybody's predicted it, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, they
booked everything well, especially the two main events. Yeah. This is the first time that a 2-night WrestleMania, I view it as one. This is the first time that they were able to do that, because night 2 was better than night 1. Mm-hmm. And but it was a streamline because of the main event leading so nicely into the main event of night 2. And I got it all right, because I predicted on Smack Talk here about a few weeks before they made the tag team match. I was like, Rock should beat Cody in night 1, and then Cody should finish the story, because now we got pretty much 365 days to set up Rock and Cody one-on-one.
I want to go back, though, and talk about that Intercontinental Championship match real quick from night 1, because any chance I can get to give Sami Zayn his flowers, because that man, as Triple H said in the press scrum, he is a storyteller. He knows how to just get the emotion from you. And he didn't have, the pomp and circumstance for his entrance. He wasn't carried out there Egyptian Queen style like Bayley. He didn't have a band playing him down to the ring. But I think he had the entrance of the weekend, because it was simple and it hooked you before the bell even rang. He's back there. He's talking to his wife. He gives her a hug. He says, hey, don't let, our son watch this tonight because this ain't going to be pretty. He comes back. We get the Rocky moment with him and his Apollo Creed and Chad Gable. And they're like, you can do it. You can do it on your own. You can always do it on your own. Oh, and hey, don't forget, you owe me a favor. So we're going to get that Rocky 3 match, set up between he and Gable at some point, I believe. And then just something as simple as him walking past Kevin Owens and Kevin Owens just shoving him in the chest and say, go effing do it. You got this shit. And the match itself was brilliant, but even the storytelling at the end, it was just as much about Gunther's defeat as it was Sami's victory because Gunther did something he never does. Gunther is meticulous. He beats you down physically and emotionally until the bell rings and he never takes his eye off the prize. And this time he decided to get cocky. He went from confident to cocky.
No, it's not this time. This has been growing. They built to this. This started in the Miz feud. In the Miz match, go back to the Miz matches. That's when the cockiness and all of his title matches since then. Jey Uso, he did the same thing. It's been a growing cockiness, but it was him being so cocky and his hubris of going at Khadija at ringside, who was the third person in this matchup with a great performance on the outside as the Adrian.
It's over for you. It's over for you. I'm like, get it, girl. Let's go.
And then Sami just, in the one little thing, the great storytelling beat was Sami pulling out a move that he has never done in WWE, the Brain Buster, and it was something that Gunther didn't prepare for, and then he hits him with 2 Aluva kicks, and it's over.
It was brilliant, and just the emotion on his face afterwards. It was the perfect precursor to what we would see with Cody at the end of the night, and that was one of the things, Dutch. It's like we talk about everybody buying into Triple H. You could tell everybody's bought into Cody Rhodes as well. You saw that after the 3 count hit. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a great video of Samantha Irvin at ringside when she's getting ready to.
She was almost ready to cry.
She was crying. You could hear it in her voice when she's trying to announce him as the champion. Like everybody was so proud of Cody.
She did that on the Sami, Sami call. Not to brush over the Sami, because I want to give Sami a bunch of praise because that's 3 back-to-back WrestleManias. He stole the show in 3 completely different ways. He did a comedy match with Johnny Knoxville, a celebrity comedy match that people still talk about to this day. Then last year, the culmination of his whole bloodline story with the honorary use and then reuniting with Kevin Owens to win in one of the best tag team matches in WWE history. And then this year, stealing the show on night 1 with Gunther, who has back-to-back of the best Intercontinental Championship matches I think I've ever seen at a WrestleMania, right up there with Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon. Gunther back-to-back with the triple threat last year with Sheamus and Drew. And then this story, the great underdog story versus the monster heel who got too cocky. That was just great storytelling on those guys' part. And I think that not enough people will go. A lot of people are going to do what Rick just did of kind of talk about it and then go back to Cody. I think we got a little spotlight on both guys here because they deserve that praise.
I'm just trying to squeeze everything into this small show here. I wrote an entire column on Sami Zayn's brilliance, okay? I am not brushing over Sami Zayn at all. That said, going back to Cody, we...
Oh, yeah, by the way.
No, just the ending of the show, man, where everybody from LA Knight to CM Punk to Jey Uso, you got Randy Orton and Sami Zayn hoisting him up, and you get Cody on the mic and he's calling out Bruce Prichard and he's calling out Triple H.
Simple stuff.
I do want to say you could have heard a pin drop when he said Bruce Prichard's name.
Yeah, I know.
I'll just be the person on this podcast who mentioned the crowd didn't want to boo Cody, but they did not cheer Bruce Prichard.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Hey, that's what one thing this pay-per-view did. We had Stephanie McMahon come out of the shadows.
Yeah.
We had Bruce Prichard come out of the shadows. And yeah, he entered, and people looked at him like, we don't.
Everybody was like, hey,
we don't know about you, Bruce.
Stephanie's back. Yeah, Stephanie's back.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Bruce Prichard, it was like,
They said, oh, God, we thought he was gone. But what do you read into that? They announced him for a reason. And, I mean,
I think it was just Cody's personal relationship with him. That's it. I think he truly believes if it wasn't for two people, he wouldn't be in WWE and he wouldn't be in the position that he's in right now. And it's the belief of Bruce Prichard and Triple H. And I think he just wanted to give him he wanted him to be part of that moment.
How quickly the opinion changes. If it wasn't for Vince McMahon, Cody wouldn't be there. But you can't mention him.
It was Vince
and Bruce was the other one.
Yeah, thank you, Dutch, because it was Vince and Bruce who went to Cody's house. The story that he talked about.
Yeah, Vince is the guy that was, but is no more. But now all of a sudden, persona non grata, is that the word? You can't mention his name. But I like conspiracy theories anyway. So when I heard that, I went, oh, okay. And then I heard Paul Heyman. I said, well, he's going to keep a job till he drops over dead. As long as Paul Heyman's there, hell, that is stuff that guys have done in the dressing room to kiss up to the guy in power for years and years. And I'm sure Paul believed it because Triple H is that good. He really is. Because he believes in simple stuff, giving the people what they want. And now we got 52 weeks to go through TV, and that's like 150 hours or more, and with Raw or 100 and more than that, before we get to WrestleMania again. So we got plenty of time.
Yep.